Hello guys, today we are going to learn about plants. We see them in our daily life. In everywhere we see these plants. From small herbs to big trees, these are all plants, providing us with one main important thing for humans and all other living things, that is oxygen. They help us either by giving food. For example, have you eaten potatoes and carrots? These are the roots of plant. And you must have wondered about or heard about medicines which are obtained from plants. See, plants not only give us protection, but also they help us in our daily life by giving food and other medicines. We see these beautiful flowers. These are offered to our holy God. So every part, every small part of a plant is necessary in our daily life, either for food, either for medicine, either for decoration and all other things. So come friends, let us unite and go to the deep and the deepest of the plants. And what do I mean by deeper? I mean the cells of plants, that is plant cells. Hello everyone, my name is Dubjit Vishwas and made a model on plant cell. Now let us understand what this plant cell means and what are the cell organelles containing in the plant cell. We have seen buildings and houses. They are made up of bricks and other building materials. In the same way, plants and all other living organisms are made up of building blocks of materials which is known as cells. Cell is the functional, fundamental and structural unit of all living beings, not only plants but also other humans and other animals also. It is the smallest part of a body of an organism which is capable of independent existence and of performing essential functions of life. Now let us look into the organelles of cell. Now I have made a model of plant cell, and now let us look and understand what this model contains. What are the cell organelles that it contains? First comes the cell wall. It is only present in plant cells. It is the outermost in plant cells, non-living, rigid, freely permeable and mainly composed of cellulose. The chief function of this cell wall is to give rigidity and shape to the plant cell and provide protection. Now next comes the cell membrane, which lies next to cell wall in plant cells. They are very thin, flexible living membrane which possesses fine pores and is semi-permeable and made up of lipoproteins. Their main function is to regulate the entry of certain solutes and ions and maintain shape of the cell in animal cells. The next is cytoplasm. It includes all the parts together inside the plasma membrane or cell membrane, excluding the nucleus. It contains a mixture of water and soluble inorganic and organic substances and compounds and various organelles. Its main function is to provide a medium for the various organelles processes taken place here. Next, we will go to the endoplasmic reticulum. Their irregular network of double membrane tubules, which is continuous with the plasma membrane on the outside and the nuclear membrane on the inside. Their main function is to provide supportive framework for the cell and synthesis and transport of proteins and fats. They are categorized into smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum on the basis of attachment of ribosomes. This is an example of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and this is an example of rough endoplasmic reticulum. As you can see, these are ribosomes attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, whereas the previous one did not had the ribosomes. So that's why we can differentiate between these two parts or organelles of the cell. Now what are these ribosomes? These are small granules either scattered in the cytoplasm or attached to the outside endoplasmic reticulum. These are single walled dense spherical bodies composed mainly of RNA, and the chief function is to synthesis proteins. Next, we will go to the energy producer of the cell, that is mitochondria. Mitochondria can be of various shapes, but they're usually sausage like. They have double walled inner wall thrown into folds called cristae. They have their own DNA containing several genes and also contain their own ribosomes. Their main function is to release energy in form of ATP and synthesis of respiratory enzymes. Next, we'll move to the Golgi apparatus, or better known as dictosomes in plant cells. These are stacks of flattened membrane sacs consist of tubules, vesicles, and vacuoles. Their main function is to synthesis and secretion of enzymes, hormones. Now here comes the suicide bag of the cell, or lysosomes. These are membranous sacs bud off from the Golgi bodies containing 40 different types of enzymes. Their chief function is intracellular digestion, destroy foreign substance, and digest cartilages during formation of bones. Now let us look at plastids, which is only present in plant cells. They can be of several kinds, but most common ones are chloroplast containing the green pigment chlorophyll. These are double membraned proteinous matrix containing DNA. The disc-like structures called thylakites contain chlorophyll. Plastids are of three categories: chromoplast, chloroplast, and leucoplast, and their functions are respectively shown. Next, we will move to vacuoles, which are clear spaces with water or other substances in solution. Plant cells have larger vacuoles, while the animal cells have smaller ones. These are covered by covering called tonoplast. Their main function is to store water and other substances like food and waste products and give turgidity to the plant cells by pressing against the cell wall. Next comes the brain of the cell. It is the largest cell organelle in the entire cell of the plant, that is nucleus. It is mostly spherical and dense in shape. It has nuclear membrane with pores to allow substance to enter and leave. It contains a network of thread-like structures called chromatin fibers which contain DNA. Now this nucleus contains nucleolus, which is one or more round-shaped structures present inside the nucleus. For simplicity, it can be understood as the brain of the brain. Its main function is to produce ribosomes, and it also participates in protein synthesis by forming and storing RNA. The main function of nucleus is to regulate all the function of the organelles of the cell. And as I mentioned earlier, as the brain of the cell, thus exactly fitting its accurate title. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be safe and secured. Until then, bye.